Welcome to the startup project. You made it, and I am super excited to have you here. This is our video one. This is the startup project, and I want you to really go through this video, with complete focus and believe that yes, you can do it, and this is going to solve your problems. Because if you don't have that thing, if you don't have that focus, if you don't have that belief, then you're going sometimes you sometimes some things will click, sometimes things won't click, and then you are still going to be where you are right now. So I don't want you to stay where you are right now. I want you to move forward. I want you to move the needle. I want you to get clarity. And that's why I've created this project, and I want you to take full advantage of it because it is full of pure knowledge and actionable steps. All right, you guys, let's dive in. Okay, so this 5 part series is your gateway to get out of the unheard entrepreneur group to join the irresistible entrepreneur club. That's where I want you to be in. I don't want you to be a part of the unheard entrepreneur group. I want you to be a part of the irresistible entrepreneur club. All right, you guys. So let's first talk about who I am. So if you are listening to me for the first time, you must be wondering, oh, who is this girl? Why she's talking? And I've never seen her, or probably you have, but you want to know more about me. So I'm Gurvinder. You can call me Guri, and I'm a solopreneur. I'm an online business coach, marketing advisor. I teach beginners and professionals how to create, market, and launch their online course. I'm also founder of BIS methodology, and because I believe in that, you need to build first. And once you have that building, once you have that foundation, then you are going to improve it, and then you're going to scale it. So that's what I believe in. And I've been helping clients since 2017, and yeah, and I want you to float and not just swim, all right? Because you can. Okay, so let's dive in and see what we are going to learn in this video series. So video one is all about action plan for your pre-launch phase so you don't hurt your health during the launch and pre-launch. Video two is all about, attracting the right audience using the right lead magnet. And then we are going to talk about organic ways of building your email list, because you have to keep on doing it. You have to keep on doing it. And if you don't have money to get that instant um, get people to find you instantly, and you don't have that money to spend on Facebook ads, you have to keep on working on these organic ways to build your email list. But also, if you want that instant result, then you need to spend on Facebook ads. So I'll also teach you how you can start getting right audience in your funnel using Facebook ads. I'm not a Facebook expert, but yes, I've learned it. So, and I've been, doing it, implementing it in my own business, so I can show you where to start. Obviously, if you want a career in Facebook ads and you want to get that professional touch and, professional guidance, as far as Facebook ads is concerned, you need to go for a mentor who is, completely focused on Facebook ads. All right, then we have the next video, which is about fake it till you make it and why it doesn't work for course creators. I'm going to teach you how to create the right mindset before your launch, because absolutely, sometimes people burn out. Sometimes just after the launch, they lose that rhythm. They lose that, that vibration, that energy. And that's what your customer wants. The customer doesn't want you to be a different person. So I'm going to talk about all these things, how you can, be someone who attracts the audience and still be the person who you want to be, and maintain your values and principles and all that. So we are going to discuss that in video 5. Okay, now this is for you if you are new to online world and don't know what to do, where to go, etc., etc. So basically, you are a foreign bird and you want to know where to start. So this is for you. This is for you if you're moving from offline to online world for the first time. So you're a local but overwhelmed bird, not word. And so, because I've worked with clients, who move from offline to online world, but they don't know a thing of it. right? So because something that works in offline world doesn't mean it's going to work the same way in the online world. So they are looking for the right strategy, so they waste less time and less money. So this is for you. This is also for if you want your VA to learn the things, and then implement for you. Also, if you already have an online audience and you've launched your online course in the past, but it didn't go as well as you had expected, so you want to improve on it. Now, I may say this might or might not be, entirely might help you or not. I can't say that, but for sure you're going to learn something new, and you're going to, this is going to help you for sure. So even if you're a herd bird, you can still benefit from this starter project. All right, you guys, let's dive in. Today is video one, and we are discussing the pre-launch action plan. Well, what you should be doing. So we are going to discuss what you should be doing in your pre-launch phase, and we are going to talk about two things today. One is identifying your current launch profitability, and then we are going to work systematically. We are going to create, a plan that, okay, this is what I have to do in my pre-launch. This is what I have to do before that. This is what I have to do in my pre-launch. We are going to talk about that, but we are going to focus more on the pre-launch phase. All right, you guys. So this is one thing that I wanted to make clear, that we are going to talk about more about the pre-launch phase and not what happens before that, what happens after that. All right, so before we dive into identifying your current launch profitability and how much we can expect from your first launch, let's see how you can launch. Like, what are the types of launches? So, and what platforms you can use for a launch, okay? All right, so number one is email launch. If you have a good or targeted email list, then all you can do is, send them personalized emails, send them targeted emails. And so you don't have to really go and look for any other platform. So you can do all the launch just by sending emails. And then you have webinar. We all know that these days, people launch using webinars, not these days, like they have been doing from quite some time. But yeah, webinar is another option you can use to launch, but then this needs practice. You need to be like really into and doing webinars and failing and then learning and then applying that learning, into until it turns out to be a successful webinar and converts for you. And then there are other things to make it successful, but then right now we are not talking about them. So the next is Facebook pop-up group. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people doing this, that they create a pop-up group for all those people who are interested in the pre-launch. So what you do is you have a main group, but you invite people from your main group to join that Facebook pop-up group. You invite your email list to join that Facebook pop-up group, and you invite them by telling them that, okay, you know what, we're doing these discussions on this certain topic, and if you want to join, if you want to learn about those topics, join this pop-up group. And people happily do that if they're interested. And the next way you can launch is just using your Facebook page live. Go and do live sessions, go live on your Facebook page, and then people are going to, if your page is really really like you post a lot and people interact on your page, then Facebook page is a great way to launch your course. And then there are affiliate launches. Now, affiliate launches are people who have been in the business like for quite some time, and they're earning thousands and thousands of dollars, and someone else want to leverage that. So they create everything like email sequences, launch materials, scripts, and everything, branding, graphics. And then the job of the experts just be present for the affiliate launch, and like doing the live videos and all that. And yeah, but of course you need to reach that level when someone can approach you and then offer you like, yes, I am going to do your launch. I just want a percent of the revenue that you're going to make. The example is like, if you've seen Tony Robbins, the latest launch they did a couple of like in January or like in Feb, I guess. Yeah, so, and they did this, they had these affiliates running the campaign for them, so they did nothing except going live in the last day. So, yeah, then you have your own Facebook group. If you have targeted audience in your Facebook group and you're doing your first launch, you can always go ahead and, launch your course in your Facebook group. But then you need to be careful. If your audience is not ready to buy your course, they're going to get pissed. You are selling and all that. So you need to be careful what stage of this, selling process your audience is. And then we have the live event, like, offline event. Go ahead and join, do a live workshop or something, or like an event. And then you can always launch your course. People use it for launching their, books, but you can use it for your course launch as well. These are the options that you have right now. I would suggest that, if you are doing an online launch, you can go for, a combination of two platforms. Like you can use emails and you can use Facebook page live, or you can use email and Facebook pop-up group, or you can use webinar and then, emails. So first platform is where you're going to dump your material, right? And the second platform is going to be for your, communication and follow up and all that. Email, yes, email plays a role in almost any plot, like even even if you're doing an affiliate launch, email plays a role. Even if you're doing a webinar, your email has its own role. But if you keep email in, as your main platform, then you need to have a proper strategy, complete strategy. It cannot just be used for a follow up. It has to be used for, dumping your content and having people to engage through emails. So that's something that you need to keep in mind before you decide on this, platform. All right, now once we have done this, we are going to go to our exercise that is, figuring out what is your current launch profitability, how much if you were to launch, let's say today, or let's say 15 days from today, how does your launch look like? Like how much can you make and how much you need to sell, right? Let's do that exercise, all right? Okay, so I've created this worksheet for you. You can download it and do the exercise with me right away. So you can pause the video, download the worksheet, and then, come back to go ahead with me. Okay, so what is your main source of traffic, or which platform you want to keep as your main source of traffic? So let's say you are hanging out a lot on Facebook or Instagram. So this is your main source of traffic, right? So I'm going to write down Facebook over here. Now, the second thing is how you're going to launch. Now, I've given you 7 different ways you can launch. So what you need to do is over here, you need to write Facebook page and webinar, Instagram. Okay, you guys. Then Facebook pop-up group. And then you can write your email list. And then you can write your and then you can write like Facebook ads or live event or whatever you want to write. I gave you 7 options. You can write those down over here. And then whichever two you want to go for, just click the right one over here. So just tick the one you want to go for. If you want to write any notes, like how you're planning and all that, you can write down over here. If you have questions, that also you can write here. Now, this is a rough exercise. I'm not saying that go on, and I'm not saying that this is final. This is just to give you clarity as we move ahead. That so let's say you plan to go for Facebook page and you plan to go for your email, right? Then you tick in these 2 circles, and then you have this clarity. Okay, you know what, I need to start working on my Facebook page. Okay, you know what, I need to just start segmenting my email list. Okay. Other than that, let's say you want to go for Facebook ads. So let's say you feel that, you know what, I'm going to launch my course using Facebook ads. Then you need to really start working on how you're going to attract this audience using Facebook ads. Now, once this is done, then we move on to the next step, which is how many followers, subscribers you currently have. Now, this X stands for your total subscribers. And in the number one blank, you're going to write down how many email lists, how many subscribers you have in your email list, how many Instagram followers you have, the targeted followers, the active followers, okay, and then how many people you have in your Facebook group, and then any other community or any other, source of traffic that you have, you can write down here, and when write the number right in front of this. So let's say you in your email list, let's say you have 100 people. In your Facebook group, you have 100 members, right? And let's say you have 100 Instagram followers, which are really active and targeted followers, not just anyone, because they are not going to convert anyway. So these are the people who are really connecting with you and liking your posts and replying, or etc., commenting and all that stuff. Now once this is done, so let's say you have right now you have 300 active followers, subscribers, right? And now let's do the math. So 20% of X, calculate 20% of X. So 20% of 300, how much is it going to be? 60. Now, in your pre-launch, you will have 60 people. This is a rough number again, but highly probable number. So if you're doing a launch today, it's possible that you can attract 60 people into your funnel, right? Now, but how many are going to convert out of 60? That's 5%. That is equal to 630, yeah, 3. So if you launch today with all the preparation, with all that, with all that you should be doing in your pre-launch or pre-launch, etc., you are going to get 3 people to sign up for your course or your whatever you are selling, right? Your high ticket course, your one-on-one coaching, anything like that. So this is the math. This is something that you should keep in mind before you even start thinking of a launch or anything, before you even start planning or anything, because this is going to help you to actually, realize your real goals. So right now, let's say for instance, you have 300 people, but you want to have the conversion rate, given the conversion rate is 5%, you want to sell it to, let's say, you want to sell it to 10 people because you want um, uh, 10 people into you're selling, let's say 997 course, and you want to make $10,000, right? So do you want to make $10,000? So you want to be able to sell it to 10 people, which means that you need to have more people in this funnel, okay, this pre-launch funnel, and which means that you need to have more people over here, okay, which means you need to work on this main source of platform, right? I hope you get it, guys. All right, so once you've done this exercise, come back to the next thing that we are going to discuss, which is launch phases. Now, I'm sure that you are aware of these terms: pre-launch, pre-launch, and launch. But if you're not, let's get a little more clarity on what these launches, what these phases are, and what you should be doing in these launches. So the first is your planning and your testing. This is not a part of your pre-launch, you guys. I just want you to really understand that pre-launch is not about planning and testing. That goes on it's an everyday process, right? It's a monthly process, it's an everyday process. But once you are out of this planning and testing, then what comes is your pre-launch phase, when you're actually preparing, creating stuff. Okay, once you're done with preparation and creation, then is the time to execute that. That is your pre-launch. And once you're done with the execution, then it's the launch, which is your open cart where people can come and buy your course. Okay. So let's understand this, that when we are pre-launch, it's not about planning. Planning has to be done way before that. Okay. And the right planning is going to take you forward to have a successful pre-launch and a successful pre-launch. Okay. And a successful profitable launch. Now, whatever I'm talking, if it isn't making sense to you, stay with me for another couple of minutes and everything is going to be super clear. So let's be Sherlock Holmes for some time. I like RJG more though. All right. Now, let's say you are starting out. What is the first thing that you will think of? You will think of getting audience, right? And then you will think of creating a lead magnet, and then you'll think of list building, right? Am I right, you guys? Now, what do you do after list building? Well, the number one thing is you try to nurture it, you create a sequence for it, you start doing the testing using surveys, etc., etc. So in a nutshell, this looks like, creating your Facebook group, creating a nurture email sequence, and I'm going to talk about what goes in nurture email sequence in when, you'll see the video, the list building video. So in that video, I'm going to show you the exact nurture email sequence. Well, all right. Now, once that is done, you're going to start posting content on your Facebook page, in your Facebook group, on Instagram, wherever you want to, whichever is your first platform, main source of traffic. There, you're going to start creating content for that platform. You're going to do polls, quizzes, lives. You'll start, dumping your free content, and then you'll start repurposing that content for other platforms. Okay. Now, this entire thing plus research plus validating your course idea plus thinking about which price to how to price your course and all that research process, that this phase is the planning phase. Okay, you guys, this is not pre-launch. I want to make this very clear. This is your planning phase, this is your research phase, this is your testing phase, what is working, what's not working, and all that. Having people in your attracting the right people, filtering them and all that. Now, once this is done, once you have this funnel set, okay, next thing that you need to do is filter your audience and identify problems you want to solve. Now, I want to give you a good example for this one, so you are not intimidated by what I'm talking about. So the other day, I posted something on my Facebook page, on Facebook profile, on my news feed, and it went like, so which model you prefer for selling your online courses? The evergreen model or the launch based model? And then there were people from all over this, the community and all over this Facebook world. They hopped in to reply to that, to comment on that post. And some of them were like, no, you should always start. Oops. Now this is there, so let's just have it here. So these people were like, no, you shouldn't go for evergreen first. You should go for launch because that's where you create that buzz. And then there were other people that, you should start with your evergreen. And then there was someone who was like, I don't like launch based at all. There's so much, there's so much going on. I don't like it. And then there was someone else who was like, you know what, I want like a regular cash flow thing, so I would love to go with evergreen, and I love evergreen and all that. Now, this is not my target audience, you guys. Why? Because these are the people who already know what I'm talking about, and this is what I'm going to teach people, like, how you should go for your launch this thing, how you should go for your evergreen funnel and all that. Now, I'm not saying that, this is not the topic that you can create an online course about, or this is not the right audience at all for anyone. For me, like in future, it could be the right audience for me. Right now, it's not. Because right now I'm creating a course for people who are struggling with, getting their course out there, who are struggling with their funnel. So right now, this isn't the right audience for me because these people already know things about, launching and, about evergreen funnel and all that. So then there was second post. The second post went like, if everyone is teaching A to Z, why do courses fail then? And then there were people who who are creating their courses, who are in this, the process of creating their courses, and they were like, because people don't know how to, uh, you know, like present themselves. Someone was like, because people don't know how to, because people don't cater to the different needs and the phase of learning, and so courses fail. And then someone was like, because the courses are too long these days. This audience who is in the research phase but yet not yet aware of the exact framework, they are confused. This is my audience. I want to help these people, right? At the same time, these are the people who are, who are looking for information, and so this audience is ready to buy. So I have filtered my audience. I have identified the problem I want to solve. And I know that, yes, this is the audience that is going to buy. Now I'm going to create the content for this audience. Now I'm going to create the content for this, keeping the problems of these people. Okay, so this stage, from this point onwards, is your pre-launch, when you know that, okay, this is going to be my course, this is the problem I want to identify. This is the point when you've filtered your audience. This is the point where you're going to start your, the preparation for your launch. Okay, you guys. Now, the first thing that you need to create is a launch lead magnet. Some of you are wondering what is a launch lead magnet. This is something that you use to filter your audience and have them in your pre-launch funnel, right? Now, a launch lead magnet is strongly connected to your course. Okay, so let me give you a ninja tip right here, and that is that your pre-launch contains content that takes someone from stage A to stage E. Okay, now I'm going to dive a little more in this topic, but right now, what is your point A? Your point A is your launch lead magnet. It's not your, random content. It's not about what is this, how is this, all that. It's your launch lead magnet. That is the point A. Now from point A, you take them to point E in your pre-launch window, and then from your point E and forward, that is your, your course and your offer, etc. That's all what we are talking right here, and that's what I covered in my paid course. So for right now, what is your A to E is what's going to happen, in your pre-launch phase. You're going to prepare your A to E in your pre-launch phase so you can deliver it in your pre-launch phase. All right, now, so for your point A is your launch lead magnet. Do not confuse it with any random free content. All right. So let's say I am launching my course. Now, I am not going to post something like, why online courses are a great way to have your regular source of income, or, earning online and etc etc. This is like, a free content that I can publish and post any time of the year or any time. That's not my launch. That's never going to go in my pre-launch phase. My pre-launch phase is going to include something, you know, something that's really related to my course, and it's going to bring my potential customer closer to purchasing, number one. Number two, closer to the information that I want to deliver in my course, right? I hope you're with me. You want me to repeat? Right. Let's do it. Okay, so let's say I am starting my course from point E, from point A to E to, Z. Now, I want to prepare people to be able to reach that point E. So when I deliver the information that's, in my paid course, they are ready for it. They understand what I'm talking about, right? So that is why A to E should be delivered in a pre-launch, pre-launch window. Also to mentally prepare them for, how you deliver your content. So everyone has a different way of delivering content. Everyone has a different way of talking, using props, using all these, like I use slides a lot. So everyone has a different way of delivering content. And so pre-launch is the window where you deliver the content and you make people comfortable with your, way of delivery. So when they buy your course, they know how you deliver and how they are going to, really understand your way of talking and then, execute whatever you're saying. So A to E is not about any random content. It's highly targeted content, closely related to what you're going to be, asking your people to do in your paid course. Okay, right? Let's move on. I'm going to show you certain examples, but right now, this is what we are talking about. So filtering your audience and then your launch lead magnet and then preparing everything is what the pre-launch phase looks like. And then once you're done with that, then you are ready with your pre-launch phase, and in which you finally get to decide which two platforms you want to go for. And you publish content for bringing people closer to purchase decision, and you create everything. You post, not create, post. You post everything related to your course topic, that is A to E. And that is now, this is everything that happens in your pre-launch funnel. And then you take them to your offer when you launch your course, and the customer is delighted because you did everything like they wanted, right? So this is something, this is the entire, phase chart. So you start with planning, then you enter in your pre-launch phase, then you enter in your pre-launch phase, and then you enter into your launch phase. Now let's look at what all we need to do in pre-launch phase. Okay. So number one is we need to create content plan from A to E, and we also need to start scripting and creating PowerPoints, etc. When I say scripting, yes, you need to script because you are going to repurpose content for your Instagram posts. You're going to repurpose content for your emails, and all that. You're going to be recording videos, so you need to script them. If you're comfortable, if you know the flow of the content, that's fine. Then you can, go on and speak like a ninja. You don't have to write anything. But if you're struggling with that, then you need to script the things. And then you need to also, start creating PowerPoints, etc. Then you also need to create an email sequence that goes out to your email list around those topics, around your course topics, and then around the topics that you're covering up in your pre-launch. All right. Then there has to be an announcement day. And so you need to create graphics for your Facebook, your Facebook event cover and all that, all those graphics and the branding elements. So for your announcement, if you want to showcase the elements, the benefits of what people are going to learn in that pre-launch phase, that you need to create it right in your pre-launch phase. Once that is done, you need to start posting them across your Facebook group, do the polls, quizzes, lives. Now, understand the difference. Over here, you're doing everything related to your pre-launch content, and that is from A to E. Okay. And then repurpose content for other platforms. And once you've done that, you need to create email sequence for people who will buy your course. Also, an email sequence for people who don't buy your course when the cart is open. You're also going to get some clarity on your offer, course outline, sales page. You're going to do all this in your pre-launch phase, but you are going to really get, clarity. Okay, you know what? This is what my audience wanted. So let me just tweak my course outline. Let me just tweak my offer. Let me just recreate my sales page, and all that. So this is all that needs to happen in your pre-launch, not the pre-launch. Okay. Because if everything is ready, then it all needs execution. Because my friend, pre-launch is the time when you need to look relaxed on the screen. You need to look happy. You need to look, like you are having the best time of your life. You cannot afford to look stressed because that's going to pass to your audience, and your audience don't want to feel that you're stressed. Audience wants to feel like, oh, she's doing it like this, I also want to do it like this. That's what they want to feel. So in your pre-launch, you need to look as relaxed as possible. So, and how are you going to look relaxed if tons of information, tons of preparation is still left. So you need to be ready before the pre-launch. So your pre-launch time is just completely, entirely focused on, conversation, having conversation with the people and execution. All right. So, all right. Okay. Now, if this is still a little more like, like you're not getting clarity, let me take you to this next slide, which is, about what's the difference between free and paid content. Now, many of us know what's the difference between free and paid content, but let's go through it again, like quickly. So let's say you have a very unique niche, and obviously you don't want to give that information for free because you want to really, take advantage of this market. And so you want to uh, give it away your information as paid content. And the next way of differentiating is what, why, and how. So it's a general rule that what and why should go as free content and how should go as paid content. And then we have the teaser. Now teaser is like you are just giving away, like you're sprinkling the information, and that's what we do when we create lead magnets. And then we have after consumption satisfaction. So picture this: you consumed lead magnet, but you're happy, okay, you got some information. On the other hand, you consume someone's course, like a good course, and what's the after consumption satisfaction? It's really high. It makes you feel like you have accomplished something, and now you can really go out there and do something in your own life as well. So that's the after consumption satisfaction, and only a good course can give you that after consumption satisfaction, like high level of consumption satisfaction. All right, next is convenience. People buy courses because they want to feel convenient. They want to have, everything right in there at that time. So, for instance, virtual dance coaches. So I am more than happy to have a virtual dance coach instead of going to, because I have to travel a little far, and that I feel that kind of, wastes a lot of time, because when I'm traveling to and fro, so I don't want to waste my time over there. So that's why I would love to have a virtual dance coach, and because of the convenience, I'm ready to pay this person amount. Next time is time taken for transformation. Now obviously, if you have, if whatever you're teaching, like I'm teaching this online course, funnels and launching and everything, it's going to take time. Now I cannot package that information and give it away for free, because I know that my audience need it in a very systematic way, because then only they can really transform, right? Another thing is the expert, or if you're an expert, obviously anybody would be like, ready to buy anything that you're selling, even if it's like available for free. Next thing is, if you have a unique, new and original strategy, like let's say you did an experiment and you got some awesome results, and you want to sell those results, you want to share it with people, but you want to have take the advantage of selling them online. So yes, people would be ready to pay for that. All right, so this is free versus paid content, but I'm sure that many of you are aware of the difference. But why I wanted to bring this right here right now is because we also want to understand what is the difference between the free content that goes, like, any time of the year, and the free content that goes during your pre-launch. Okay. So to bring that difference, free versus free, I just gave you a general overview of what's the difference between free and paid first. So let's understand what goes into your pre-launch content. Now we discussed this A to E thing, but let me give you examples. Now, number one example is, let's say you're creating a course on website designing. Now, let me ask you a question. Will you teach why a website is important for your business in paid course? Absolutely not. For sure, this topic is to be used as free content, but for pre-launch content, Create something like, website terminology, because you'll be using technical words in the course. And you don't want to aware your audience about those definitions, those, abbreviations or whatever in your paid course, because that would be wasting your time and your customers' time, right? Another example is, let's say you're creating a course on dancing. Say you are a virtual dance coach. Now, you should be creating free content around foundations of dancing. That's fine. This you can create any time of the year. But your pre-launch content should be teaching people how to warm up before the dance session, how to gather all the equipments before the dance session. Why you want to teach this in your pre-launch? Because the moment your course goes live, you're going to start teaching them, okay, you know what, this is how you're going to start with your let's say you're teaching them contemporary dancing, okay? So you want to start with the basic, you want to start with how to, how to, like, whatever you want to start with. But I don't know, I'm not in dancing niche, so I'm not sure what you're going to start with. But you want to start with, let's say, something, but you want people to have knowledge of, how to warm up before the dance session. So that's something you should be giving away in your pre-launch. But the biggest mistake people do is that they start teaching the warm up in their paid course. No one wants to learn that. People wants to learn they want to learn something premium. So if you start teaching them the warm-up exercises in your paid course, they are going to just, stop scrolling. Not scrolling. Not scrolling. They are going to stop watching that video and probably move on to the next one, or just stop watching your course altogether. That's not what we want. We want them to really consume all the content. So you need to be crisp right from the beginning. All right, you guys. I hope this makes sense. And if you have questions, you can always post, and I'm happy to help you. But right now, this is it for the pre-launch phase. I hope this all makes sense. And there's a worksheet. Please download that, and see you in the next video. All right, you guys. Bye bye.